Hi, this is Patti Miner, and I just thought I'd give you a book report. I just read Ego is the Enemy, and I thought this is a great book for all people who are or have been experiencing success, although anybody can get ego in the way of their lives. It doesn't matter if you're poor or rich or male or female or what nationality you are or what religion you belong to. Getting an ego in the way can really disrupt your life. I'm going to read you some quotes from the book and then talk a little bit about it, if that's okay, because I just want to share some insights. This is a really wonderful book. It says, if ego is the voice that tells you you're better than we really are, we can say ego inhibits true success by preventing a direct and honest connection to the world around us. So our ego can get in the way of us not really seeing the world as it is. And okay, so here's another quote. For your work to have truth in it, it must come from truth. If you want to be more than a flash in the pan, you must be prepared to focus on the long run. Isn't that true with any success? With the success of your family, even if they have setbacks where a child goes astray or has a problem or has an injury where you have to take care of them, the whole process is the long run, that we just stick it out and never give up. We always love them. The same with our businesses. We may go up, we may go down, we may go up, we may go down. And in any business, there are things that you go through that are difficult and hard, but it's the long run. It's, do you love what you love to do, and can you stick it out for the whole time, or is it worth it? Sometimes you have to ask yourself that question too. But at the same time, don't let your ego and the pride get in the way of making your decisions. That is really a great quote. It's all about doing. It's not about the recognition. I remember back in 1984 when I was running for Mrs. Utah, I was so focused. I knew that I wanted to do charity. I realized that the charity that I would be able to do with this pageant was amazing. And so I was focused on that, and then getting all the pageant interview questions down, figuring out the dresses and everything. And I remember that I didn't even realize there were prizes involved in the company. In the pageant. The pageant had all these prizes involved, and I didn't even know they existed. I didn't look at the prizes. I didn't do it for the prizes. I wasn't thinking about the prizes. I was thinking about the job, the work, the charity, the things that I could do. How do I improve I was on a diet. I was trying to help get down in so that I could look good in a swimsuit. I was trying to work really hard on my interview questions, so if anybody asked me anything, I'd know what to say and why, and all my clothes that were correct, and then just all of the things that involved with the pageant is quite a bit. So I was focused on that. When I won, I remember everybody going, oh, and now we're going to award you the prizes. And my eyes got big with shock, because I was like, prizes? There's prizes? And they were like, oh yes, you have a 2-week cruise, and you have a chandelier, and you have some furniture and a wardrobe. I mean, they had prizes. I was like, what? I was shocked, because I had never even didn't look at it. I hadn't known that it was. So it's about the doing, not the recognition. So remember that about winning anything or trying to be successful. Each fighter, to become great, he said, he's quoting about wars he was talking about, needs to have someone better than they are so they can learn from them, and someone they can teach, and someone equal that can challenge them. So it's good to have someone better than you in what you do. It's good to have someone that is lesser than you that you can teach and share and help to grow. And it's good that you can have someone equal to you to give you challenge. I think that's right in tennis too. You know, it's nice for my grandkids. I get to teach them tennis. I have someone greater than me, which is my husband, and anyone else that can challenge. And then someone equal. We have a lot of partners that we face in tennis equally. And that's the same with business. That's the same with social, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, everything that you do. It kind of has universal truths to this. Here's another one. Clear the path for the people above you, and you will eventually create a path for yourself. I love that. Clear the place for the people above you. Do something good for the people above you. Help them in any situation, and you will clear a path for yourself. It all cast your everything upon the waters, and it will come back to you all the time. You want to master the tedious at hand task, mastering one part of the job that coaches disliked. He was talking about a coach that was very successful who mastered the art of figuring out statistics, which no coach has ever wanted to do. And so to be able to figure out the statistics of the coaching world, he became very, very successful. I'm trying to think of the name. Bill Belichick. Am I saying that wrong? Anyway, the 4-time Super Bowl winning head coach of the New England Patriots. He liked to master the tedious things at hand, and then he ended up winning the Super Bowl. So if you realize that you can keep doing the little things that are tedious, like in network marketing that I do, calling people, following through, emailing them, making sure that you have followed through and give them good service and talk to them about the products and help them to reorder and help them to know how to reach the company, how to log into their back office. Those tedious tasks are what is successful because you're helping everybody all the time, and you're doing that over and over and over, contacting people, meeting new people. Those are all important in any job. True greatness is like a river. The deeper it is, the less noise it makes. I know then that makes me not very great because I make a lot of noise. So I'm just saying, but I know that about my uncle dad that helped raise me. He was so quiet and he went about being so great. His whole life was just a kind, wonderful, constant reminder that you are great, that you are wonderful. He made everyone feel wonderful and great around him. He did the tedious tasks. He was kind, he was gentle, and he was very deep. He had very deep thoughts. True greatness is like a river. The deeper it is, the less noise it makes. So you don't have to go around bragging or making a big fuss about what you do. But if you can be truly great, you can just do the tedious things and do them over and over and get those things done. Create a vacuum for a better, new, greater things that can, so get rid of all the negative. Get rid of anything negative around you that are negative tasks. I talk about negative drains in the book I wrote, about how you can go in the kitchen and see the dishes. And every time you go in the kitchen, oh, I got to do the dishes. I went in the kitchen, oh, I got to do the dishes. You go in the kitchen, oh, I got to do the dishes. That's a negative drain. You hear it over and over and over in your mind. If you just get the dishes done, you have accomplished something. And then when you go in the kitchen, at least I did the dishes. So it becomes a positive instead of a negative. So get those little things done so that you can have that. Those who have subdued their ego understand that it doesn't degrade you when others treat you poorly, it degrades them. Put it in perspective how other people treat you, and don't let that affect you, your life, your family, nothing. You should be you. We are creatures of God. We are absolutely great beings here upon this planet. We don't need to have anybody validate us and tell us we're good or bad. You don't have to believe any of that. You don't want to believe the great big praise that you get when you get praise, and you don't believe the cut downs. You don't believe the disrespectful things that you hear. Everybody hears them, everybody. But it doesn't define who you are. You don't have to react to it with fear or animosity or frustration, because that only raises your blood pressure and hurts your health. So just let it slide off. Let it just slide off. When somebody says something bad, they probably didn't mean it the way you took it. They probably didn't mean to hurt you or offend you or say something wrong. Heavens knows I don't ever want to ever hurt or offend anybody. I'm sure I've said something that was dumb sometime, and that, you know, just without thinking, or just said something that might be sensitive to someone else that going through something, you know, like maybe bragging about my husband and I, how fun we had when somebody just lost their husband. I mean, I might have done that before. I hope I have never done that, but people make mistakes. People cut in front of you in the freeway. People do things accidentally, and you don't need to act like you have been attacked. It doesn't have to take anything away from being the great, amazing, wonderful person you are, and you should continue being that way to other people. So don't realize that if another person treats you poorly, it doesn't degrade you, it degrades them. That they hurt themselves, and so that's why you feel sorry when you do something stupid. Many times in our head, we believe that everyone else is successful but us. That's a very big myth. You see, even on Facebook, we all put our best things forward. We say our best things, and we put out there what we can. Sometimes we put out a problem that we need solved, but most of the time it's all the good stuff. And everybody can see that and think, oh, they did this and this and this. They didn't see the 50 things back home that you didn't do, that you wouldn't put that on Facebook because it was tough or hard or difficult or frustrating or whatever. And so remember that everybody is living in this world, and nobody leaves here without singing the blues, believe you me. That's a quote from The Old Adventures of Babysitting, but that we always quote in our family. But nobody leaves here without singing the blues is true, because we all have difficulties, we all have frustrations, we all have relationships we need to build or fix or bond with or do, we all have something. And you know, it just, many times we get in our head that everybody else is happy and everybody else is doing well but us. And that's not true. That's not true. You are who you are. You're successful at what you do, and you're doing a good job. Let me just tell you that right now. Whoever is listening right now, you are wonderful. You are good. What is that quote from The Help? You is kind, you is powerful. I love that. I didn't quote it correctly, but I believe it, that you are wonderful. You can do anything you put your mind to. Don't let any distractions or problems or anything get you down for very long. I know it takes time, and we've all been there. We've all done it. I've been a caregiver. I've been homeless. I've been there. I've done that. So I understand. We're all in seasons of our lives. We're in seasons where we're having our children raised. We're in seasons where they're gone from home, or they're back again. We're in seasons all the time, whatever age or time we're going through. So don't judge that on other people, and don't become self-conscious. What successful people do is curb such flights of fancy. They ignore the temptations that might make them feel so important, or skew I said screw, or skew their perspective. See, I make mistakes. There you go. Okay, the next one. Pride blunts the very instrument we need to own in order to succeed. I want to say that again. I said it slowly because it's important. Pride blunts the very instrument we need to succeed. Our work ethic and what we do every day cannot get diminished by our pride, thinking we're all that, we're done, we did it, we're great. You can't go there. You have to keep working and working and working and working and working. We should be, by the time we work at a rest home for our church calling as service missionaries, and those people are still doing it. They're still working. They're still writing their family histories. They're doing their genealogy. They're still helping one another. And they're in wheelchairs, and they're in walkers, and they're in 80s and 90s. To see these people never give up, and to keep going and keep going and keep doing and keep serving and keep growing is amazing to me. So there's no excuses. I've seen it all, and I tell you, there are no excuses. Don't lose your work ethic. Focus on your work, not the prize. Enjoy your journey. And don't lose your balance. Keep your eyes open and don't lose your balance. Your balance between social, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. All of those balances in our lives are very important to keep balanced, because if you get too one-sided with work, then maybe your family loses something. If you get too one-sided in family, maybe your work, or maybe your social and all your friends. You know, I'm constantly doing spinning the plates, you know, trying to balance everything all the time. It's like, okay, we're having fun with our family. Okay, now I'm reading a book. Now I'm going to paint something because I need to do something cultural. Okay, now I'm going to go play tennis. I got to stay in shape. Okay, now we're going to go with our friends and go to dinner because I haven't seen them for a while, and we're going to have fun, and family again, and oh my gosh, church, we have service. So there's a lot of things going on in the world. You choose what's good for you. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you. It comes inside your heart. Like in the movie, we're big movie buffs, if you can tell. In the movie The Karate Kid, Miyagi is trying to trim one of those little trees, and Daniel comes in and goes, ooh, I would love to be able to trim one of those trees. And he says, well, here's some scissors, and he gives him a tree, a bonsai tree, and he's like, how do I know? And he says, Daniel said, close your eyes and imagine the most beautiful bonsai tree. And then he doesn't say any more, and he gives him a pair of snippers. And he says, but what if my picture isn't right? And he said, Danielson, if it comes from inside your heart, it is always right. So the bonsai tree can be you. What is the most beautiful you that you can imagine? Close your eyes and snip away. Because if it comes from in your heart, it's right. Is it right for you to collect something, to find beautiful things in the world? Is it right for you to read certain books? Is it right for you to serve certain people? Is it right for you? What is it right for you? Nobody can tell you that. Only right in here. So that's what they were talking here. It's a great book. It does for a team that has just won a championship. Ego begins to toy with our minds and weaken the will that got us to win in the first place, which then we don't win anymore because we're so proud of ourselves. I've noticed that on the tennis court. When I've hit a really good point and I just, then I'm a little puffed up for a second, and then all of a sudden another pitch got past me or another thing got past me, and then I lost the next point because I was so proud. That happens, I've seen on a basketball court too, or maybe you've messed up and it still sticks with you so that you can't go to the next point, and then you mess up again and again and again. You got to get over it quick, especially if you're on a court. If you're on a tennis court and I mess up, then I'm still thinking, oh man, I messed up. Oh, that's terrible, that's terrible. Instead of just moving on and go to the next point, go to the next point, go to the next point, keep working, keep working, keep working. That's what life is all about. It's just keep going, keep doing it. Whatever, okay, that didn't work. Okay, let me try this. Okay, that didn't work. Let me do this. So we're all just working and working and working over and over and over again. It's not about beating the other guy. It's not about having more than others. It's about being who you are. This is in the book. And being as good as you possibly can without succumbing to all the things that draw you away from it. It's just about being the wonderful, beautiful, great self that you already are. Just improve that. It's not about beating someone else or being better than anyone. It really isn't. Another great quote. Play for the name on the front of the jersey, he says, and they'll remember the name on the back. So be a team. We are human beings. We should be all on the same team. We should never cut each other down. We should build each other up. We should have compliments. We should find wonderful, beautiful, great things about other people, whoever we're around, and build them up, listen to them, validate them, care about them. That is what it is. I'm telling myself, I'm telling myself this at the same time. That's why I read these books, because I'm not doing it all the time, and I need to be. So I've messed up a lot, and this has been a truth bomb for me, going, oh my gosh, you don't do this enough. You're not doing this. We are team players. We need to be on a team wherever we are. We care about everybody there. I think, they were talking about, they had a lot of opportunities talking about doing your best. And I think that they had Francis Scott Key. I mean, they went through Viktor Frankl. They had so many opportunities to tell us about really great people in this book and how they overcame difficulties and even success. You have to actually overcome success, because sometimes you have success and you think you're all cool, and then you stop working, or you do stop doing the thing that produced that success in the first place. So in order to keep succeeding, you have to keep doing the work that you were doing all the time, and all the time. Just be a follow-through person. Do what you say you're going to do. I write it in my planner, in order to be honest, because I seriously forget when I say, I'll do that for you. I think you better text me so I remember, or I'll write it in my planner, because otherwise I forget. And I want to be honest with what I say I will do. I hope you enjoyed this book, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. It was a really good book, and I hope this was some value to your life today. Have a wonderful day.